They say no news travels faster than a royal scandal. And yet, nothing could have prepared the world for this. Just now, Prince Harry has filed for divorce. Not quietly, not behind closed doors. In court documents that are already sending shockwaves across the globe, he's seeking sole custody of his children, and the reason he cites is nothing short of explosive, emotional abuse. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. Pause for a moment. Let that sink in. Emotional abuse. From someone who has been seen as a modern, empathetic figure, someone who left the pressures of royal life to live freely with his family. What could have led to this point? How did it get this far? And why is Harry taking such a bold, unprecedented step now? These are questions everyone is asking. And the answers, as we'll soon see, are far more complicated, painful, and dramatic than headlines can capture. Let's start with the basics. Harry's decision to file for divorce is not merely a personal matter. It's a move that will have ripples throughout the royal family, the media, and the public consciousness worldwide. Think about it. Few events in recent memory have managed to unite curiosity, outrage, sympathy, and scandal in such a head-turning combination. The stakes are astronomical, and the implications reach far beyond the private lives of Harry and his spouse. Every court document, every allegation, every reaction is now under a microscope. The timing is critical. You might be asking yourself, why now? After years of public appearances, interviews, and careful statements, why would Harry choose this moment to bring everything into the open? Timing in these cases is rarely coincidental. And while the public might see this as another royal controversy, insiders know that behind the polished smiles and public statements, there's a storm of tension, secrecy, and unresolved conflict. One wrong move, one leaked message, one statement could escalate the situation into something that changes lives permanently. And make no mistake, this is not just about legal paperwork or public posturing. This is a human story, deeply emotional, raw, and painful. It involves children, family loyalties, reputations, and deeply personal accusations. Emotional abuse is not a term used lightly in legal circles. It implies manipulation, mental strain, and psychological harm. It suggests that one party feels systematically undermined or controlled in ways that have lasting consequences. And when such allegations come from a high-profile figure like Prince Harry, the impact is magnified exponentially. But let's zoom out for a second. Prince Harry has always been a figure of intrigue and controversy. From his early days in the public eye, through the tragedies of family loss, through the pressures of royal duties, and into his modern-day role as a global philanthropist and public figure, his life has been scrutinized in ways most people could never imagine. Every action, every statement, every relationship has been dissected, judged, and sensationalized. And now, with these divorce filings, the scrutiny is reaching a fever pitch. We also need to consider the public perception. Harry and Meghan have cultivated an image of independence, compassion, and progressive thinking. They've challenged norms, pushed back against traditional expectations, and positioned themselves as voices of advocacy and change. Yet here comes a court filing that disrupts that narrative entirely. Suddenly, the lens shifts from admiration to speculation. Are the fairy tale perceptions crumbling? Or are we just seeing the messy, human truth behind a life that has been idealized by the media for decades? This story also matters because of what it tells us about power, influence, and family dynamics in the modern age. In any high-profile family, conflicts are never just personal. They're political, social, and symbolic. Every move has consequences, every statement is amplified, and every decision is scrutinized under a public microscope. The allegations of emotional abuse, therefore, are not just about private grievances. They are also about the ways power, control, and perception operate in a world that watches royalty like we watch reality television. And let's not forget the emotional component. Behind every allegation, every document, and every court filing, there's a human being grappling with pain, fear, and uncertainty. Children are involved. Lives are being reshaped. Relationships that once seemed unshakable are now under strain. As we peel back the layers of this story, we'll see moments of heartbreak, tension, and even surprising resilience. You will wonder, along with millions of others, how anyone navigates such a high-stakes, emotionally fraught situation. The suspense here is not accidental. The timing, the allegations, and the sheer audacity of filing for sole custody all work together to create a narrative that demands attention. As you watch this unfold, you'll start to notice patterns, inconsistencies, and contradictions, tiny details that hint at a far larger story. The public sees the headlines, but the reality, the truth, is often far more complex, far more nuanced, and far more shocking. And as we dive deeper into the details of the court filings, the family history, and the emotional stakes, you'll start to see why this isn't just another celebrity divorce. It's a story that will dominate discussions, speculation, and analysis for months to come. Now, let's consider the curiosity factor. You might be thinking, surely, the public deserves to know the exact details of these allegations, right? And yet, there are layers, levels, and carefully guarded elements that are being revealed in stages. Some of what Harry has filed in court will only become known through insiders or leaks. Some of it will be carefully analyzed by legal experts. And some parts? Those remain shrouded in mystery, enough to make us ask, repeatedly, what really happened? And what comes next could very well shock us all. It's also important to acknowledge the contradictions here. On one hand, Harry has been portrayed as a loving, protective father and partner. On the other, he is now alleging emotional abuse in a court of law. This duality is exactly what makes the story gripping, because it challenges assumptions, flips narratives, and forces us to confront the complexity of human relationships, especially under the glare of global attention. And in true drama fashion, each revelation, each quote, each document seems to raise more questions than it answers. And just when you think you have a handle on the situation, the next layer emerges. The reactions from family, the palace, legal teams, and the public are unpredictable, each adding tension and drama to an already explosive mix. These are not simple dynamics. They are fraught with historical baggage, personal grievances, and deeply entrenched loyalties. And that makes every statement, every move, every filing a potential turning point in this story. So why should you care? Because this story isn't just about royalty, it's about the human condition. Conflict, love, betrayal, and courage under pressure. It's about what happens when private struggles become public spectacles. It's about the ways people navigate morality, loyalty, and self-preservation when the stakes are unimaginably high. And as we explore each chapter of this unfolding saga, you'll see moments that are raw, shocking, ironic, and sometimes heartbreaking. And now, as we stand at the precipice of this story, one question remains. What exactly did Harry put in those court documents? What evidence? What claims? What words could have been so serious that they compel him to seek sole custody and cite emotional abuse? The answer, as we'll soon uncover, is a mixture of personal pain, strategic legal positioning, and deeply human emotion. It is a revelation that will challenge perceptions and spark debate around the world. But what came next would change everything, and no one saw it coming. When the papers hit the courthouse steps, nobody was ready. Not the press, not the public, not even those closest to the royal family. Imagine the scene, a pile of court documents, plain white sheets of paper, and yet every line carried the weight of a bombshell. Emotional abuse, sole custody, allegations that would ripple across the world. For Prince Harry, filing for divorce was never supposed to be public theater. But somehow, this moment became exactly that. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to step into a room knowing that every word you speak, every claim you make, could be twisted, dissected, and analyzed in real time by millions? That's exactly the pressure Harry was under. And it shows in the language of the filing. Carefully worded, deliberate, yet charged with emotion. Legal professionals note the precision. This wasn't just about separating assets or schedules. It was a calculated move, meant to protect, assert, and expose, all at once. The filing itself reads like a manifesto and a diary rolled into one. Harry doesn't mince words. He outlines concerns over emotional well-being, stability, and parental responsibilities. Every claim hints at a deeper story, one the public hasn't been privy to until now. And the term emotional abuse isn't thrown around casually. In legal circles, it's a serious allegation, often requiring extensive evidence, witness testimony, and psychological insight. The fact that Harry chose to include it in formal documents signals the gravity of the situation. Let's pause and consider this. For someone who's been in the public eye for decades, who's navigated media scrutiny, royal expectations, and global attention, why make such a statement now? Timing is everything. Some speculate it's tied to recent interviews. Others say it's strategic ahead of custody hearings. Could it be both? And here's the question no one wants to ignore. What prompted Harry to claim emotional abuse? And what does that really mean for his family? Court insiders reveal that the filing was prepared meticulously, with lawyers reviewing every paragraph multiple times. It's not just a list of complaints, it's a narrative. It tells a story of strain, conflict, and moments that the public never saw. There are mentions of communication breakdowns, instances of perceived manipulation, and tensions that escalated over time. But here's the contradiction. In public appearances, Harry has often spoken lovingly about his family, about unity and protection. Now, the documents tell a very different story. Imagine the tension in that courtroom when the filing was received. Lawyers on both sides poring over the text, each word dissected for intent and implication. How would the opposing counsel respond? How would the judge interpret these claims? And more importantly, how would the public react when snippets inevitably leaked? These aren't idle questions. They represent the exact high-stakes pressure Harry placed himself under with this move. And the response from the public was immediate and polarized. Some supporters praised Harry's courage, framing the filing as a protective act, a father standing up for his children's well-being. Others questioned motives, speculated about ulterior reasons, or accused him of leveraging the media for attention. This duality mirrors the broader perception problem Harry and Meghan have faced for years. Admired and criticized in equal measure, their actions dissected under a microscope that leaves no room for nuance. But here's the twist. While the documents highlight emotional abuse, there's more beneath the surface. Experts who reviewed leaked portions suggest that the filing also contains strategic legal positioning. Preemptive claims designed to strengthen his standing in potential custody negotiations. That doesn't negate the personal element, it amplifies it. Harry's filing is both personal and calculated, emotional and tactical. And that combination is precisely what makes this story so riveting. Let's look at one particularly intriguing detail from the filing. Sources report that Harry included specific examples to support his allegations, moments that are deeply personal, some of which date back years. These aren't vague claims. They're precise, detailed, and emotionally charged. Each example paints a picture of conflict, frustration, and strain. And while the public may never see all the specifics, the hints are enough to ignite speculation, debate, and shock. You might be asking, why go public with this at all? Why not handle it privately, as many divorces are? The answer is layered. Part of it is necessity. Court proceedings in high-profile cases are rarely private. Part of it is protection. Harry is establishing a legal record, documenting concerns formally. And part of it is psychological, asserting control over a situation that has long felt uncontrollable. When millions of eyes are watching, every move counts, and the filing does more than start a legal process. It sends a message. The drama doesn't stop at the filing itself. Once it leaked to the press, the reactions came fast and furious. Headlines screamed, social media exploded, and analysts dissected every possible motive. What's fascinating is how quickly the narrative diverged. Some framed this as a tale of heroism, a father fighting for his children against impossible odds. Others portrayed it as a continuation of royal conflict, a public airing of private grievances. Both are partially true, and both feed the tension that keeps audiences glued. And the response from the public was immediate and polarized. Some supporters praised Harry's courage, framing the filing as a protective act, a father standing up for his children's well-being. Others questioned motives, speculated about ulterior reasons, or accused him of leveraging the media for attention. This duality mirrors the broader perception problem Harry and Meghan have faced for years. Admired and criticized in equal measure, their actions dissected under a microscope that leaves no room for nuance. But here's the twist. While the documents highlight emotional abuse, there's more beneath the surface. Experts who reviewed leaked portions suggest that the filing also contains strategic legal positioning, preemptive claims designed to strengthen his standing in potential custody negotiations. That doesn't negate the personal element, it amplifies it. Harry's filing is both personal and calculated, emotional.